Hello everybody, welcome again to my channel. So the last time we talked about, the big blockbuster question, what am I going to do with the kids? So today, I want us to talk about another big question, and that is, can I be my kid's teacher? I mean, really? And when parents ask that, they're usually looking at two things. They're looking at, do I have the skill sets and competencies to teach my child? And they're usually looking at, okay, is this wise? Even if I do, even if I can somehow, get the courage and and everything else I need in terms of just skill to teach my child, is this a good idea? Should I be, let's say, mom and teacher? A few years ago, my son's teacher told me in the nicest, just most loving way she possibly could. She said to me, Mrs. Richards, I want you to focus on being mom. Don't focus so much on stepping into teacher mode. She meant well. But obviously I disagreed, and I strongly disagreed. And I disagreed because there were things that I saw in my son's academic journey. I saw where he was falling behind in certain areas, and I felt like I could do a better job. Not because I'm a better teacher, not because I'm more skilled. This is not any kind of indictment on against the teacher. This is just, I'm acknowledging when I walk into that classroom that there are several other students who basically commandeer the teacher's time and attention. She was not operating a tutorial. And so she had limits, all right? There were limitations on her time, attention, all that. And my son's needs were a little bit greater. And I decided, no, I'm going to be mom and teacher. And it was a journey that I took, and I'm not going to say that it was easy, but it was so rewarding. It was worth it. Here's the thing. In order to be mom and teacher, you know what? Let me back up and say this. For some families, it might not be a wise decision, right? I'm not going to say this will work for everybody. I hesitate to, make rules or to be dogmatic about, what people should and can and wouldn't. I hesitate to do that. But I'm going to take it for granted that if you're watching this video, you have a heart to do it. You want to. There is something about the idea of homeschooling your child, of teaching your child, that has drawn you to this resource, all right? So those are the people I'm addressing, and I really believe that if you're drawn to it, if this is something that is on your heart, that you can do it. So let's talk about the strained relationship. I am mom, I am teaching, or I'm dad or parent or whatever, and I'm teaching, and it will fray our relationship. So here's the thing. It can if you allow it. One of the things that you have to keep in mind as a homeschooling parent, again, you stop comparing yourself to other families, to other traditional arrangements. And you get into the mindset that I am not just now directing the course of my child's education for grades. This is now all about a journey, my child's confidence, my child's development, my child's self-esteem, my child's academic progress at his or her own pace, my child's interests and passion. And when you begin to eliminate all the other ideas and all the other people that we have to keep up with and compete with, and you make it about your child, then the relationship is it's not strained, all right? Because you now understand that this is a different process for both of you. one of the things that you have to do is, I know that there are families that these families, they create boundaries. So they have particular hours when they are homeschooling, and then after that it's kind of over, it's family time, and they are able in a very nimble and dexterous way to kind of move out of one mode to the other. To be honest with you, I don't know of too many families that are like that, but there are a few, all right? But many of us, what we have done is we have made learning a seamless part of what we are doing, all right? We're learning all the time. We're talking, we're discussing things. Again, this is not about regimented dates and structures. As a matter of fact, I found that my relationship with my kids in some ways suffered more when they were in a traditional setting, in the sense that I had work, they had school, they had the dioramas on the weekend and the projects and all these things they had to do, and the notes from the teachers and the things that had to be signed and the field trips and all these external things that we had to take care of. And it was just, I think that was a lot more stressful. Whereas we're learning at home, I know where you are. I know where you should be. I know that this is not just about a grade anymore. So if you have to retake a test, or there are parents who don't even give grades, they find other ways of evaluating learning and progress. So there was just a lot less stress on our personal relationship. And for us as a family, we are very careful to not make learning a thing. Again, not like there's school and then there's home. No. This is all about learning. So, for example, if my kids are learning about the impeachment process, and they're reading, my older son is reading about this in his government textbook, and he's watching it on C-SPAN on TV, and we are talking about it just as a natural part of conversation at the dinner table. So learning is going on all the time. It's not this thing that has to be done and you got to see in class and I'm angry, and no, it's nothing like that. It is learning. We are now a learning household, and we treat it as such. All right. So again, it all depends on the attitude of the heart. All right. Are we willing to see our kids' educational journey as a journey, and that we choose to direct the course of that journey, so that it's not just this extra thing that we just kind of took on and it's onerous, but it's just a part of what we do. The next thing that I want to talk about is the question of, am I qualified? Do I have the skill sets? And that is a question that haunts so many people. So many homeschooling parents, that's their number one. That's the thing that keeps them up at night. Somehow I'm cheating my kids. I'm not good enough. I wasn't good in math or whatever. So I want to say this, excuse me. I have a friend who is a math teacher, and she taught middle school. She has a master's degree in mathematics, and she taught middle school math for a little while. And then she transferred to high school, and she was dropped into AP Calculus. She said to me, I haven't trafficked in this kind of thing for a while. I don't remember, a lot of this. So she said, so I'm going to spend the summer and I'm going to brush up on my skills and all that. And that was years ago. Today, she's a department chair and she's teaching up her school, and it's just seamless. Do we say because she had to do some reading, extra studying, reviewing, preparation to teach her class, is there anybody who would say that she's not qualified because she was not able to recall right on the spot all the knowledge, all the things that she needed in order to stand in front of her classroom? Of course not. Of course not. We wouldn't say that. All right. My major in college was linguistics and literature. I don't remember quite a bit of what I was taught in linguistics. Now, here's the thing. It's not riding a bicycle. Obviously, if I had to teach it, it review, revise, I'm on point, I'm ready. What's my point? My point is the number one thing that you need is a willingness to learn. Are you willing to learn? Are you teachable? Are you willing to do the research? Oh, guys, let me tell you, when you decide to homeschool with excellence, research is one of the key pillars of this journey, of this work, of this thing that you're building, of this that you're doing. Are you willing to read? Are you willing to investigate? Are you willing to ask? Are you willing to reach out to others who have the skill sets and competencies that you do not? Are you willing to let go and to delegate? Because let me tell you this, all right? Even for the people who have, let's say, a PhD or whatever, highly credentialed homeschooling families will tell you, some of you already know this, that the way we were taught to multiply, they're not teaching kids in school to multiply in the same way, all right? There are, even to help kids with their work in school, parents often find themselves having to review and learn things in a new and fresh way. Again, teachers find themselves having to do that. So this is not about, okay, I know everything and I feel confident. No. This is about, are you willing to learn? Are you willing to grow? Are you willing, when necessary, to delegate in terms of, let's say, find a tutor or a co-op or someone who is skilled in that particular area? Remember, we talked about this, guys. This is about directing the course of your child's education. It is not about you being the repository of all knowledge. It is about directing your child in the way he or she should go, as the scripture says. All right? That is the important thing. That's the important thing. And also, think about this. In the upper grades, let's say middle school, high school, that's why schools have subject matter experts, all right? The math teacher very often will confess, I don't really know a lot about literature. And the English teacher will say the same thing about math or science or whatever. The point is, there's no one person who has all knowledge. So do not feel that you are inadequate or somehow you can't do this because you feel like, oh, there's just so much I don't know. Well, that's everybody. Nobody knows everything. But because we are directing the course of our child's education, and I know I keep saying that, but I want to keep saying that so that you understand that you don't have to know everything. You simply need to be able to find the resources that can empower your child. And you are willing to learn. You're also willing to let it go, all right? Very often when parents feel as though they have failed or they're failing, that's because they have set up some kind of artificial benchmark or standard for their son or daughter. And if the child fails to meet it or is not meeting it at the pace that we have established, we feel as though, man, I didn't do a good job. Well, I don't know of too many traditional settings that measure success in that way, all right? This is about our children. This is about our journey with them. And I just want to inspire you. I want to motivate you. If this is something that you're considering, yes, you can do this. You so can do this. All right, guys? So tell me what you think. We'll talk again about the next time we have this discussion. We'll talk about structure, all right? Structure being one of the pillars of our homeschool journey. Thanks for watching. See you next time.